Hi everyone, my name is Kirsty. I am 35 and I have never read The Hunger Games. Nope. I have seen the films. I don't know whether I ever saw all of them, but I've never read the books despite the fact that I've owned them absolutely years. Definitely since before I was even on BookTube. So yeah, I can't believe that I bought these books and then didn't read them. But this is where we are going to end this. So not only have I decided it's about time that I really stopped procrastinating this series and read them, I'm going to read the first 3 on my Kindle as I own them on Kindle. I'm going to listen to the new one, the prequel, on Scribd, as I noticed it's on there. So that is going to work out for me absolutely fabulously. So yeah. Not only had I decided it's time I should sort that out and that I'm going to marathon them, I've gone a step further. I'm going to try and read them all in 48 hours. I'd prefer 24 hours, but I'm trying to be realistic here because I absolutely am not giving up sleep. I'm not messing up my sleeping pattern too much. And so, yeah, we need a bit of realisticness in there. That said, I'll be definitely trying for more the 24 to 36 range rather than 36 to 48. And I'm going to start reading the first book at midnight tonight, and it is now 9:20. So I've got a few hours. I'm already starting to feel tired, so I know for a fact that I won't be reading much tonight before falling asleep. But then I want to try and spend most of tomorrow reading, ideally, the first 3 books, so that I'm just left with audiobook work for the rest. That would be great. I'm not sure how well that's going to go for me. I've looked up the average reading time for each book, and they're between 6 and 6.5 hours for each of the first 3. So that puts me already at about 20-ish hours. That being if I read them at average pace, which I have no idea if I'm going to read them faster or slower. I've always thought that I tend to work out slower than the average pace on these on Kindle, but every once in a while I do zoom through something quicker, and it's been ages since I've picked up a YA, and so I might find that actually I read YA ridiculously quick these days because I've been reading so much adult, and so this will be like a nice walk in the park. But yeah, I'm really excited to get stuck in. If you've never read The Hunger Games, I would be careful moving forward because I can't guarantee that this video will be spoiler free. In fact, it's probably not going to be spoiler free, but I will say exactly which chapter of exactly which book I am on before I speak each time with each update, so that if you're reading along or if you've only read certain books or up to a certain point, you can kind of decide whether you need to stay on the video or click off at any given point. But yeah, I'm really excited to be going on this journey and to be bringing you with me. I'm now going to chill out and rest my eyes for a couple of hours, I think. And I don't mean sleep though. That would be nice. But I don't think I'd wake up, so I may as well just go to bed at my usual time or a little bit later. I don't mind staying up a little bit. I just don't want to sleep. I just don't want to deprive myself and totally mess up my sleeping pattern. So yeah, it's happening finally. So it's just gone 12 and I have just finished the first chapter. It thinks it's going to take me 7 hours to finish this book, so that'd be a 7.5 pretty much hour reading experience for me, which is about an hour slower than the average. But who knows, maybe once I settle into the book I'll be reading a lot quicker, because that's usually the case. So as I said, I've read literally 1 chapter, and it's made me think about how when I was watching the film, how much I really liked Gale. A bit of a Gale fan. And yeah, not an awful lot's happened so far. I thought it was quite kind of tense how we mentioned that Gale has got his name in there 42 times, and that Katniss has got it in like, I can't remember how many times. And then Prim has only got her name in there once, and her name has just been called, and it's like, of course I knew that was going to happen because I've watched the film. But it's been years since I've watched the film, and all I basically remember from this point onwards is the very basic plot of the first film and a little bit of the plot of the second film, and that's about as far as my memory goes. So I'm hoping to have some fun surprises along the way, but it is now my bedtime. I am going to read in bed a little bit more, but I won't be updating, so any updates will be in the morning, and I don't think I'll be reading much more in bed anyway, probably just one more chapter again. So yeah, I will catch up with you tomorrow. Wow, the lighting is terrible. It's a really rainy day, which is great for reading, so can't complain. It's 9 a.m. and I had a great night's sleep, and I'm currently 14% of the way through the book. So I need to get cracking, first of all. Secondly, I've not really got anything to report yet. I'm only like on chapter 4, so nothing to really report. Except it did make me think, would I really want to watch this on TV if it were me? And then I was thinking, yeah, I probably would actually. I probably would be all over it. Sad, but true, because I think humans, whether they want to admit it or not, do quite enjoy watching morbid things. And people killing each other is pretty morbid. So I'm just about to start chapter 8, and Katniss has just kind of lost her shit a little bit when demonstrating her skills, and has shot an arrow into the apple that is within a pig's mouth that is at a banquet table because they weren't paying attention to her. And I was just like, yes, you go, you show your skills, you show off, and you get them. And yeah, I just really liked that. I enjoyed generally like the whole up to this point of setting them up and kind of exploring their skills and the outfits, and yeah, I'm having a great time. Can't remember whether I said, but it's now 10 o'clock, so I've been reading for about an hour today, and I'm just having a great time, and I'm gonna go back to reading now. Bye. So it's 12 o'clock, and I need to like get myself some late breakfast, or just lunch and breakfast in one at this point, and just pig out a bit because I was so obsessively reading, I've not actually done any eating. So I'm about to start chapter 16, and Katniss and Prue, is that her name? Rue. Katniss and Rue have made a sort of little alliance, and I kind of vaguely remember Rue from the film. And she's just so sweet, and she knows so much, and she's doing so well for a 12-year-old. I love her so much. And I can't remember how it all ends with her, because obviously they can't possibly stay like that in an alliance forever. So yeah, I'm sure it's going to be really sad at some point in the not too distant future. I'm still having a wonderful time reading this. I feel like I'm flying through. And it just feels so good to be lost in this immersive world. And I just keep like feeling like I'm watching it on TV myself. Oh dear, why did I leave it so long to read this book? I'm catching up with the rest of the world now though. I ended up taking an hour break for lunch, so I didn't do any reading at all. I had some work being done on the house that kind of made me not want to read while the person was here doing it anyway. And so I had my lunch and just distanced myself from reading for a bit. So I'm now back, and I'm on chapter 18 for anyone who needs to know for spoiler reasons. I can't believe the heartbreakingness of the loss of Rue. Rue's just died. I thought I'd be more sad than what I am, so there is that. But yeah, things are moving along. Things are moving along really quickly now, and I really wish I could remember what happens in the film better to give me any sort of clue of what's to come. But I don't have a clue, so I'm glad I decided to make this a 48-hour readathon, because it is not long after 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I've just finished the first book. It's taken me about what the Kindle predicted actually. I've probably read about 7 hours or so in total to get that first one done, which means I can probably expect the next two to take about 7 hours each too. And when you throw in sleep on top of that, and then the fact I've got an audiobook for the prequel to get through after that too, yeah, I think this will be a tight run thing. I really enjoyed the book. I thought the writing was phenomenal. Like, I was just gripped the entire time. I didn't catch anything that made me question anything. It was just solid. And all I really have to say on the matter of finishing the first book is I'm not sure when I started caring about Peter. But I was quite sad for him at the end of the book. I'm like, oh, what do you mean you don't know whether you want to be with him or not? But then I did always like Gale in the film. Oh, I don't know what I feel now. I've just turned Katniss, haven't I, and just want a bit of both. Anyway, I'm going to have a quick snack, a cup of tea, and then get cracking with the second book. It's close to midnight and I'm about to go to bed, but I thought I'd do a quick update first. So I haven't got a clue what chapter I'm on, to be honest, but what I'm going to say isn't overly spoilery anyway. Basically, I'm just like in total shock that it's such a acceptable and common thing in the capital that they would drink a liquid to deliberately make themselves throw up so that they can eat even more food and try even more food. Like, that boggles my mind. I'm a massive foodie. If I play The Sims and I make a character of myself, I always make them, well, first of all, a bookworm, but second of all, a foodie. Like, I love food. I love trying food. And like so many different flavours, but I wouldn't dream of making myself sick so I could then try even more food. Well, first of all, I have the most horrendous fear of sick, so I wouldn't do that anyway. But it just boggled my mind that like that's a thing and the way they were all so blasé about it. I'm glad that Katniss and Peter were both just like, nah, we don't need to try that, thanks. And this bit is slightly more spoilery actually, but not that long ago I read the part where Gale is basically getting, and oh, the pain. And I'm just like, the more I'm reading of this book, the more I'm realising I don't remember this film at all. I remember the first film vaguely. I know that I've seen Catching Fire, but I can't remember it in any sort of way, shape or form at all. Basically everything from now on out may as well be brand new to me because I don't remember anything else. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be on for a rocky ride over the next 24 hours. As I said, I am about to go to bed, but I will try and read more, though I am quite tired. My eyes are not used to trying to read so much in one day, and I have read the whole of the Hunger Games and close, we'll make it sound better than it is, close to half of Catching Fire. So yeah, my eyes are sleepy, but I'll see what I can get read and update you first thingish in the morning. So it's the next day. I didn't get any more reading done in bed last night, and I'm off to a slow start today. I've just kind of just potted around a bit. I've just had a shower. So the time is now 10:30 and I'm still like 30% of the way through, or was it 40% of the way through? Let's have a look. But I'm still not very far into Catching Fire. So while I'm looking at just how far I actually was, 32%, yes, great. This isn't gonna get all read in time, is it? So yeah, I'm actually gonna just go and get cracking with the reading, stop procrastinating. It's not long later at all, but I'm about to start part 2, chapter 10, and so I thought I'd just quickly check in. So first of all, I don't know how this series ends. Like I said, I've definitely seen the first 2 films, although I don't remember the second film at all. And if I have seen any parts of Mockingjay, it's only part 1 and I don't remember it at all. So I have no clue what's going to actually happen, and I've never been spoiled for it either. So I'm genuinely looking at Gale and Peter and thinking, well, who is she going to end up with? Who is Endgame? I have no idea, and I don't even know who I wanted to be with. Usually when you're reading books like this and there's a love triangle, there's an obvious person that you want the character to get with, and I don't know what my answer is for that, because I've always, like, from watching the first film, I've always loved Gale so much, and had never been a fan of Peter. But now that I'm reading the books, I like Gale, but I'm not sure I love him. Meanwhile, I didn't want to like Peter, but now I do. So I feel kind of equal about them both. Like, I wanted to just somehow find a way of being with both of them forever. Live happily ever after. I no, that's not gonna happen. There will definitely be one thing that does not happen. So where we are right now is everyone is kind of a little bit scared. They've all locked themselves away, and there's talks of Katniss still getting married, even though President Snow didn't believe the whole charade of her and Peter at all, and that meanwhile they somehow managed to make uprisings and rebellions worse, not better. And so I'm just feeling really tense. It's a great feeling to not have a clue what's coming and know full well that loads of people in the world have known for years what's coming for me. I have no clue what's going to happen. No predictions. No idea. I am scared that at some point someone else will die, because no one that we've cared about really has died in this book yet. So I'm just about to start chapter 11, and I need to go and shut some windows because I'm getting chilly. So I'll have a little chat while I do that. And basically, so we've just learned about District 13 a little bit, and kind of what's been going on also in District 8, as Katniss has just bumped into some people who are on the run from District 8. And I'm just really intrigued as to where things are going to go from here. I'm assuming that the people that were on the run from District 8 that are on their way to District 13 are actually right. And there is some sort of kind of underground rebellion there. But I don't know for sure. As I said in previous clips, I have no idea what's going on in this book or where things are going to go. So yeah, I don't know how. I don't remember any of this bit from the film, but I'm really tired today, and I'm starting to wonder whether I'm going to struggle to finish this book now. So I'm going to go and sit back down shortly and carry on reading and hope I don't fall asleep. If I wear the same hoodie as yesterday, would that convince you that it's still the same day? So it's now the next day, and I couldn't focus on reading yesterday. I was just so tired, so drained, and so I gave up. I did read a little bit. I can't remember what chapter I'm on or even what sort of percentage I'm on, so let's have a look. But yeah, I've basically failed my little mini challenge of reading them all in 48 hours, haven't I? With still being on Catching Fire at this point. Okay, so I'm 41% of the way through. It thinks it's going to take me about another 4 hours to finish it. So I'm going to get cracking with that, and hopefully I can get done relatively quickly and then start Mockingjay today, and maybe even read most of Mockingjay today. That would be great. I have got a food delivery coming later, so that's the only thing I really need to worry about, along with the standard usual. Should probably try and do a little bit of housework and cook dinner and whatnot. But yeah, nothing else going on. No excuses, not tired today. Need to get reading. Okay, so I'm on chapter 15, and wow, I just spent a lot of chapter 14 kind of feeling like I've got like a lump in my throat. This book hasn't made me cry, but that was close. So first of all, I'm not surprised that there's another games, because I did kind of vaguely remember there being one in the film, but couldn't kind of properly place it, so it makes sense that there's a games for previous victors. That was kind of in my head, but I didn't realise that they wouldn't get to say goodbye to people that they love, like Gale, and yeah, I was really sad that they couldn't say goodbye, and I was just like and just the down mood in general on the train, I was just like, no. And then we have just, after Katniss has had another nightmare, we've just watched a video of the year where Hamish was the victor, and how he ended up winning, and how that was kind of rebellious as a way of winning too. And yeah, just really, oh goodness, that was a tough chapter, and I'm sure things are only going to get tougher. If I look terrible, that's because I'm having a terrible time. I've just finished Catching Fire. I don't know what to do with myself, like seriously. That ending. So I was there going, well, I'm sure I remember something in the film of them never making it to the very final in this one. So like, I feel like they get rescued or something. So again, there was like something in my head, but I couldn't remember who was involved in the rescue. I couldn't remember like whether anyone else survives. I couldn't remember anything. And now that I am aware, I don't feel any the better for it. Like, okay, cool. So Katniss is alive. Yeah, great. But Peter is who knows where. And who do I even want her to end up with? Gale, Peter, I don't bloody know. Both still. And Haymitch, I really have a soft spot for. And quite frankly, a lot of the characters I now have a soft spot for, like, they're all such darlings. I'm going to start Mockingjay very soon. Very, very, very soon. I'm just going to take a little bit of a break. More just for my eyes' sake than for anything else. Do a teeny bit of housework. Just get over catching fire a bit. And yeah, then I will start Mockingjay. I highly doubt I'll finish it today. The food order should be coming in a couple of hours at most. And I don't want... what this book has done to me as well is make me cry so much. I don't want to be crying when the food guy arrives with my food. That'd be a bit awkward. Answer the door, crying my eyes out. And he's just like, oh, we've got a right one here then, haven't we? She sees food and cries. So yeah, I'm probably going to be a bit careful over how much reading I do over the next couple of hours. I feel so emotionally battered. That book made me cry. It made me laugh. Yeah. So I'm just starting Mockingjay. And while I was doing my little bit of housework, I was just thinking to myself, I still can't predict who she'd end up with because they've both got their major pluses, and quite frankly, I love them both. And like I said, my idea of happily ever after would be to just live together, the three of them. I'm starting to get really quite scared that she ends up with neither of them because she dies. That's my current logic. She's gonna die because she won't... Will Peter? Peter will do anything for her, but he seems to also be very resilient to dying at this point. Gale, I fully believe, again, would probably do anything for her, but I just don't see him dying. I've got such a bad feeling she's gonna die. I really hope I'm so wrong. How I've never been spoiled for this book is beyond me, and I've never seen either of the films for this one, so not a clue what's coming my way, and that terrifies me. Oh, fuck. I'm literally 3% of the way in, and oh my god, no. So they believe that Cinna was killed while being interrogated. No, it's only a believe he's been killed. I'm going to fully believe he's still alive, not losing Cinna. And so that was where my journey ended the other day. I had a food delivery coming, and the last thing I wanted was to be crying over the possible death of Cinna, as I have Sainsbury's ringing the doorbell going, food. So yeah, I stopped reading, and then Luke got in from work, and then I just didn't pick the book up again, and then an entire weekend passed, and then several more days passed. It's now Wednesday a week later, and I'm thinking it's about time I cracked on and finished Mockingjay. So I literally read just the first chapter the other day, so I'm on chapter 2. And I think I was reading quite slowly because it thinks that it's going to take me 9 hours and 11 minutes to finish this book. I don't think it's going to take me that long. But for all purposes, I am going to track approximately how long it does take, because I'm just going to read in like hour bursts today. I don't really have anything much to do, but I don't just want to sit and be static. So every hour I'm going to get up and do some sort of job, whether it be make myself something to eat, make a cup of tea, put a wash on, hang the washing, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna stop waffling and get reading because it's nearly 10 a.m. and if it is gonna take me 9 hours to read, I need to get going. Hopefully it really isn't going to. Oh my god, I'm on chapter 2 and I'm literally 5% of the way in, so I've only been reading like 5 minutes. But we think Peter's alive because he's being like interviewed on TV. Oh, I'm not sure whether it's actual TV. I just saw Peter and interview and camera and assumed TV. So yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh. So my suspicions are correct. Now that I've got up to reading speed, it thinks, well, I've been reading for just over an hour and I'm about to start chapter 5. And it thinks it's going to take me 6 hours to finish from this point. So yeah, I just needed to build up the initial speed so that my Kindle could track correctly. I've not got many thoughts right now, except I'm really kind of worried because they do seem like it seems no better to be part of the rebels than it does to be on the capital side, which I get is totally going to be the point, but I'm worried for what the fallout of that will be because I don't believe for a second that this is a good place to be right now and good people to be involved with. And I can't believe the poor state that her prep team were found in. Like, oh, it just broke my heart to think of them all just like huddled up and chained up like that. And they've been destroyed deep inside their souls. And I just felt for them so much. So I'm going to take a quick break now to rest my eyes because I've been having a lot of headaches recently. Not so much when I'm reading, more when I'm gaming obsessively, but still I want to just give my eyes a little rest, get a drink and have a quick bit of breakfast and then I'll go back to reading. Okay, so I'm about to start chapter 9, but before I do, I'm A, going to make some lunch, but B, just want to talk to you about what I've read more recently. So I'm about to start chapter 9, as I said, which is about 30% of the way in. Basically, Peter's just been interviewed again, and he was saying on there, like, he did a direct address to Katniss about how she doesn't really know what's going on, and does she trust the rebels and know that she's being used, basically. And her kind of thought is, well, she doesn't trust them, actually. She really doesn't trust them. I don't trust them. I don't really trust anyone at this point, so I don't know. And Finnick is there too, and he turns the TV off, and they actually pretend that they haven't even seen that address. And this seems to relieve the people that have come in to kind of check on them. And I'm just like, oof. Because I don't have a clue what's going to happen in this book, and it's not a sensation I'm used to with something this tense. Or like, I haven't read anything that I've been this engrossed and this tense, but this clueless in a long time. And I'm scared of what's going to happen, quite frankly. I may go and get some lunch and carry on reading. Excuse the sound of the washing machine in the background. I finally got around to putting a wash on. So I'm about to start chapter 12, which is 43% in. And I'm so scared. So first of all, we've just survived having the invasion and bombing of 13. And they'd all gone like really low down into like the safety bunkers, and so that was all fine. Buttercup played a wonderful role, and so I'm now finding out that they plan to rescue Peter, and that Gale is one of the people that has agreed to go, and now Katniss is scared of losing both of them. Meanwhile, I'm just absolutely bloody terrified. Like, what's gonna happen in the last 57% of this book? Oh my goodness. Are they gonna get him back? Is it gonna be safe there? Like, I'm feeling a bit better about the rebellion now compared to like before, and I feel like the rebels is definitely the safer place to be, but it's so scary. Oh. Hi, it's now early Friday morning. Last night in bed, I read to the beginning of chapter 19, which is also the beginning of part 3, The Assassin, and that's at 67%. I need to finish this book ASAP this morning. It's quite early. I've just got out the shower, just got myself some breakfast, and I need to hide my awful nails. I need to actually just crack on and get this finished now, because I've got into the habit of Fridays recently being my cleaning day. And when I clean the house, I clean the entire house all day. So obviously the fact that I haven't started yet, and the time being what it is, and the fact that I've still got about 2 hours left in the book, I need to get going. So I'm not going to update again until the end of the book, unless I end up having something I really need to say. I mean, last night, basically, Peter is joining them for the attack on the Capitol, and Katniss thinks, well, that basically means that Coin wants Katniss dead then, because Peter has been very unstable, to say the least, and not that many chapters ago was shouting that she's a mutt. So yeah, I guess I need to get reading. Okay, so I just finished a couple of minutes ago. It's been a couple of minutes because my absolute first response was crying my eyes out. My second thought was, must message Eve. And then I was like, must film vlog clip. So who'd have thought that the thing to break me to a complete mess would be Buttercup? I managed to kind of keep it together towards the end. I was like, okay, everyone's dying. This is sad. Oh God, Prim's dead. This is really sad. Oh, Katniss has got no one and wanted to kill herself and couldn't, and it's now been taken back to 12. This is all really sad. Oh, Peter's finally back, and they're going to plant primroses to honour Prim, and it's like, this is so sad. And then Buttercup comes along looking for Prim. And Katniss totally loses it and it's like, she's not here, get out. And like throws a pillow at him and stuff. And starts crying. And then Buttercup must like understand what she's saying. And I just can't handle pet heartbreak. Like when you see clips of dogs that are like mourning their owners. Things like that. I can't handle it. It totally broke me. It ruined me. Oh my goodness. So it's nearly lunchtime. I'm about to go make myself some lunch. While I do that, I'm going to start the audiobook for, what is that prequel called? Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes or something like that. And then I will just listen to it literally all afternoon while I clean the house. So when I have things to update you on, I will do. And I can't remember how long the audiobook is, but I don't know whether it's something I can try and fly through today or whether I'm going to need tomorrow as well. I am hoping to get it finished tomorrow because Sunday is Valentine's Day and I don't think Luke would appreciate it if I just spend Valentine's Day listening to an audiobook. So, oh dear. As for the ending, I guess I'm satisfied. I always knew that she couldn't have both of them, but I think I always thought that she'd at least have Prim. Oh my, poor Buttercup. Oh, I should say as well that I'm aware of how Marmite this book has been received. Like, some people seem to really not like it. Meanwhile, others, like Eva, for example, loved it. And when I was talking to her about this the other day, she said that we tend to like the same things in books and like that there's a lot of background in books sometimes. So I'm probably going to love it. And I'm going along with that theory. And the irony of this theory will become apparent in a future video too. So yeah, I'm going into this expecting to really enjoy it and get a lot from it. And I'm excited to learn more about how the world came about and more about snow in general. At this rate, I'm not even going to get any lunch, let alone get my house cleaned. So I've been listening quite literally a couple of seconds. And we've discovered that his cousin is Tigress and that she's been making him an outfit for the reaping. He's 18 at this point and they're apparently quite poor. But I'm sure that that's the same character that we just met in Mockingjay that provided a safe place for like Katniss and the rest of the crew. So now I'm like, this is going to be mega interesting. So predictable. I never get any reading done when Luke's here anymore, which is fine. It does now mean that it's Monday though, and I need to try and listen to the rest of this book. I think I managed to get to just under 60% in the end, so I have at least made some sort of progress. So yeah, today's task is to try and listen to the rest of the audiobook. I'll probably just play games on the Xbox with no sound on or something while listening, as I don't really clean the house on Mondays. I've got into a routine of Monday being like me day. So the weekends, it's time with Luke. Tuesday to Friday, I don't mind doing house stuff, but Monday's just like me day. So I guess I'm just gonna get back to listening and do some gaming. I will say, I'm enjoying the audiobook. I think the narrator's great, and I'm really enjoying the sort of background information that I'm getting. And I'm quite disturbed because I don't hate Snow right now. I don't like him, but I'm kind of in shock that he was such an okay guy back when he was like 18. He's not the complex evil villain from the get-go. Meanwhile, I don't know. I don't hate him. I'm finding it interesting learning more about him and delving into the 10th Hunger Games, which is fascinating. It's the first year where they've had mentors, and I don't know, I'm obsessed. So going back to listen now, bye. Oh my goodness. So I'm on chapter 26. At least I think it's chapter 26 because I don't know for sure whether the chapters are matching up, because you have that issue sometimes with audiobooks and I don't have a physical copy. But I've just learned more about jabberjays and how they aren't just used to like mimic voices, but that they've actually used them to essentially bug areas of the forest in certain places, in certain districts. So I'm now thinking back with the Hunger Games, whether there was jabberjays around like spying in the woods, well, being used as spies in the woods, because they can record for like an hour. And yeah, I'm just a bit like, okay, so I've finished. I actually finished about half an hour ago, but I just gave myself a bit of processing time to fully decide what I think about this book. And I think my overall thought is that was okay. Part of me is glad I'm rid of it. Part of me is glad I read it. Part of me is glad I'm rid of it. Wishing that I could get those hours back from my life. I feel so conflicted. Like, I found it really interesting. Also really irritating. Also incredibly fucking dull. Like, there were a few times where I thought, if I'm not listening to the audiobook of this, like if I'd been trying to read this physically, I would not have been able to finish this book. 100% it would have been a DNF. Meanwhile, I found it fucking irritating because Lucy Gray is just well annoying. Like, oh, her songs drove me nuts. I don't know whether it's because it's through the audiobook and so therefore I was getting a really irritating version, but it just felt like they were so repetitive and they were just all the time, and she just doesn't shut up. It was so irritating. And meanwhile, Snow was just, as the book went on, he got more and more boring. Like, to begin with, I was like really invested and really interested, and then the further we went, the more I was just like, I don't actually care. So because I feel so conflicted, I'm giving this book 3 stars. And that's a bit of a sad place to end this all on, really, but I have enjoyed the overall journey, and I am so glad that I did read all of these books in the end, and that I've done it in 2 weeks, so it's all been quite fresh in my head and I've been able to sort of fully digest it all. I think that's been a really good way of experiencing the series. So this video is linked to another video that will be coming out really soon, so keep your eyes open for that, because this will all start making a bit more sense. But I'm so glad to have been able to share this journey with you. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Comment down below if you still haven't read The Hunger Games and you just spoiled yourself by watching all of this video because you know you're never going to read The Hunger Games. Comment down below if you're proud of me to have finally got around to the Hunger Games. I don't know. Just drop me a comment down below. I would love to have a chat about this series, as I think it's going to be up there as one of my favourite series now. Like, there's no denying the power of the first 3 books. But anyway, I'm waffling. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Bye bye.